guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you a video today to share my personal opinions on the Adidas X15 Plus Primeknit. Now, for those that are unfamiliar with this series, this is unlike my regular reviews where I talk tech specs, and it's more about me sharing my likes and dislikes based on my own personal preferences about a particular pair of shoes, in this case, the Adidas X15 Plus. So for those that always ask what my personal preferences are, that's kind of what this series is all about. As always, you guys really seem to be enjoying this series, so leave your comments down below. Let me know which product you'd like to see featured in the next personal opinions video down below. Whichever one gets the most amount of requests is the one that I will most likely make in the next video. So Adidas X15 Plus Primeknit, what do I really think of this shoe? In all honesty, I'm a big fan. I think that right off the bat, to kind of answer the hard-hitting question, what is my favorite knitted shoe on the market right now? I think it would be this guy right here, even more so than the Superfly 4 and even more so than the Magista Obra. Those are both very, very good shoes, but they're very different at the same time in comparison to what Adidas has given us here with the X15 Plus. And again, that's not to say that this is better than the Superfly and the Obra, or the Superfly is better, or the Obra is best. There is no best shoe when you're talking about knitted uppers, because the four full knitted shoes that are available right now, the X15 Plus, the Ace 15 Plus, the Superfly, the Obra. I don't really count the Hypervenom Phantom 2 because it's kind of just the collar, but those four main knitted shoes, they're all very good. They're all at the $275 retail price range, and like I said, they're very different from each other. So again, personal preference really comes into play, and for me personally, I really like how this shoe feels. First reason why, and again, this is not necessarily a video where I want to compare it to all the other knitted products out there on the market, but it is kind of the main talking point. I like that this is a low-cut shoe versus the mid-cut models from Nike. That, again, really is a personal preference thing. I don't have any issues wearing the mid-cut models, but I just personally feel more comfortable, more kind of at home, I guess is the best way to put it, with a low-cut shoe, which is what Adidas has given us here. Now, that's enough about comparing it to other kind of knitted models for at least a second, and I want to talk about comparing this shoe to the standard X15.1, because this is really just a modification of that shoe. What hasn't changed is, of course, the sole plate and stud pattern. That is identical to the standard version of the X15.1, and I had no problems with it on that shoe. No problem was with it on this shoe either. It's technically an FG-AG stud pattern, but really, in my opinion, it's best suited for use on firm natural grass, not so much on AG, but Adidas says you can use it there, so go ahead and use it if you so choose. As far as the upper is concerned, it really does change the overall feel of the shoe. And if I'm being completely honest with you guys, I don't necessarily think that the overall feel for the ball or the general comfort is better with this Primeknit variation, but I definitely do prefer it over the standard X15.1. The actual tech fit collar system that they've implemented on the Primeknit model, I really feel is what they should have implemented on the standard X15.1. It really does make for that more kind of one-to-one, almost sock-like locked-in sensation that I think I was expecting from the regular X15.1, just based on how it looks. You have this interesting collar system that really has no impact on how the shoe fits or feels around the heel area. A lot of people, again, try to compare it to the mid-cut stuff from Nike. It's nothing like that whatsoever. But what you do have is this extension piece that kind of takes up the top of the shoe. It acts as a tongue. And on the regular X15.1, it's simply just a little kind of elasticated neoprene piece that extends from here to here and covers basically none of the bottom or middle part of your foot, which is kind of a bummer. It's something that, like I said, you notice when you put the shoe on and slide it on your foot, but after that, you don't notice it at all. With this shoe, the actual tech fit collar system extends pretty much all the way into the forefoot. So it's something that wraps your foot. It's an elasticated knitted material. So when you slide it on, it has that sock-like level of comfort, that kind of elasticated, slightly compressed fit around your foot, where the shoe feels like it fits really nicely even prior to tying them tight, which is kind of what I think is a highlight of any of the knitted shoes that have been released to the public so far. other than maybe the X15 Plus. That's kind of a more traditional construction. The upper just happens to be knitted. Speaking of the upper on this particular shoe, it's soft, it's flexible, it's not as thin as what you're going to get from the X-Skin upper on the standard X15.1. So if you want a super thin feel from your knitted soccer shoes, I really think that the Superfly 4 would be the best option for you. The thickness and just general feel on the ball, I would say on this shoe compares best to something like the Nike Magista Obra and even the X15 Plus. They're very similar thickness to what you're going to find on this particular model, which I personally don't mind. It's thin enough, but there definitely is a padded sensation to it just because it is quite a dense knit kind of pattern on the upper itself. They maintain the X-Skin the X-Cage system on the lateral and medial side, which still does its job in terms of supporting the actual upper itself. It doesn't feel like it's flimsy or has any rollover. It's just as responsive on your foot as the standard synthetic X15.1 is. And for me, one of the other major improvements they've made coming from a regular X15.1 to the Primeknit model is the heel liner. It's not that soft neoprene material. Instead, it's just a smooth synthetic leather, nothing fancy at all. They haven't changed the padding behind it or anything like that. It's just a different surface material, which makes a huge difference in terms of how this shoe fits. Heel slippage is not an issue whatsoever. And like I said, because of that lack of heel slippage, this shoe, along with the other little things that I mentioned, just feels so much better to me than the standard X15.1. I think the heel liner, as well as this extended tech fit collar system, really should have been included on the standard X15.1. I'm not sure why they didn't. Obviously, the Primeknit material is something that they're going to treat as kind of a premium product for the foreseeable future, just like Nike is doing. There's a reason why this shoe came out at the $275 price point. They're trying to compete directly with Nike, which is fully understandable, but is this a significantly better performing shoe in comparison to the regular X15.1? The answer to that question is no, but do I like it a lot better? Yes, and again, a lot of that has to do with the heel liner, which improves the fit, as well as this extended tech fit collar that to me just feels really interesting. It has more of a unique sensation on your foot than the regular X15.1 does. That, in my opinion, kind of just enhances the overall experience. So really, really big fan of the shoe. Is it worth the extra money versus the $220 price tag of the standard X15.1 that you can also find on sale in some of the older colorways? That's kind of something that you have to justify to yourself. But if money is not an option, if you're just looking for the best version of the X15.1, I really think that the Primeknit model is the way to go. Because like I said, it just is a better shoe in terms of what this particular design is capable of being. It's, like I said, the optimal version of the X15.1, if that makes any sense. So that's pretty much it in terms of what my opinions are on the X15 Plus Primeknit. Really, really big fan of the shoe. Like I said, my personal favorite knitted model currently on the market. So that's what I have to say. Let me know what you guys think of this shoe down below in the comment section. We'll get a bit of a discussion going. If you have any questions about this particular shoe for me, leave them down below in the comments as well, and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.